after I do the show. The phone lines are lighting the hell up. I will be on Ustream later. No more calls. No more calls. No more calls. No more calls. All right, here we go. All right, today's show, we're going to talk about how to stop waiting on money. We're going to talk about stop waiting on money. That's the problem with a lot of people. A lot of people wait on money too much. And I want to help you think like a hustler. A lot of people say, Flex, you need to do more shows about hustling, how to act like a hustler, how to be a hustler, how to think like a hustler. We need more hustle shows. And a lot of cats, they want me to give specific things to do to get your money on. And I can do that, but that's not the mentality of a hustler. It's not about doing specific things. It's about having a certain mindset on being a hustler. It's about how to carry yourself. It's about how you think about yourself. It's about how you look at getting money. You got to be creative when it comes to getting your paper on. Let me put on some more Mackie music. There we go. Let me put on some Mackie music real quick. So anyway, man, the thing is, to be a hustler, number one, you do not wait on money. The problem is a lot of people can't get their hustle on because they're always sitting around waiting on somebody to give them a check. You're sitting around waiting on somebody at your job to give you a promotion. You're sitting around waiting on somebody to give you a record deal. You're sitting around waiting on somebody to give you a movie role. You got to stop waiting on money. It's cool to anticipate a role or a check coming or a movie deal or a record deal. It's cool to anticipate that, but in the meantime, you got to get your paper. You got to still get your hustle on. So when that other money that you've been waiting on comes through, that's just the icing on the cake. You'll still be getting your own paper. And this is true especially in the Hollywood scene, and specifically for Black Hollywood. Because in Black Hollywood, right now, there's just not a lot of roles that white producers and white executives are giving black people. That's just a fact of reality. You look at television, especially on primetime television, I don't know of any black shows. There might be one or two, but I don't know too many. It might be one or two. It might be one on Fox. I don't know in primetime. On network television, there just are not any black shows. So a lot of black actors, man, they're either going to have to sit around waiting on some roles, or they're going to have to create some things and some projects and some venues for themselves. And a lot of actors have done this. There's a new movie out right now, and I'm so proud of these guys. A movie called Black Dynamite. This movie has been getting rave reviews. This movie was written by Michael J. White. It was also written by a black director named Scott Sanders. So all these guys, they got together. They wrote the script. They shot it themselves. They got a whole bunch of black actors in Hollywood. They got Arsenio Hall. They got a whole bunch of people, and they did the movie for no money. I don't know if they got paid scale or if they just did it for free, but a lot of them just pulled together and just made this movie a phenomenon. A lot of people are talking about how funny the movie is. I saw the movie last week. The movie was hilarious, and just because I like to support black cinema. And I'm very proud of the way they did it. They did it on some hustle shit. They took control of that dynamic. Instead of sitting around waiting on somebody to green light it for them. They went and shot this thing, took it to Sundance, people loved it, and then they got that buzz going, and then they sold the rights. That's hustling. I applaud that all day. And there's another show, man. The last really good show that was on network television, black show, was a show called The Game. And I talked about that show before. Now, The Game was canceled by the CW. It was a very good show. And I, like a lot of people, really didn't know too much about the show until they started showing the game on BET. Now, this show is the highest rated show on BET right now. So a lot of people are rooting for the show. And right now, The Game is my favorite show on television. It's hands down the best show, white, black, any show, to me on television. The Game is a great show. They play it back to back on BET. I sit up and watch that shit. Me and my chick watch that shit for hours. Love that show. I don't even like television, but I love that show. The greatest show on television right now. And the show is generating so much buzz again and so much interest that people want it to come back. So BET, they're in negotiations to bring the show back. I think that they are going to bring the show back. I think they signed a deal to bring it back. I got to talk to some of the guys who work on the show. I might have them on here to talk about the progress of that. But they're trying to bring that show back. A lot of black people have supported it, which is what we should have been doing anyway. But that's a hustle move, man. Support your own shit. Get stuff out there popping. Stop waiting on other folks to greenlight stuff for us. You got to stop waiting on money. Especially black folks. We got the wherewithal to put stuff together ourselves and make it happen. But you got to stop waiting on a check. Stop waiting on settlements. Stop waiting on the county. Ladies, stop waiting on a child support. Fuck all that. Just get your hustle on. There's hustling out there. See, y'all got to create a hustling aura around yourself. See, there's an energy that hustlers have. There's a hustling energy that you can generate. When you're out there getting your money and you're doing your thing, you create an energy that attracts more money. You notice when you are broke, it's very difficult to find money. When you're broke and you're desperate, finding money is hard. Just finding something to eat is hard. Everything becomes a struggle. You ain't got nothing to eat. You're broke. You ain't got no transportation. You ain't got no weed. You got to borrow weed. Your bitch got to do something strange for some change. You know, when you ain't got no money, just everything becomes difficult and a struggle. But when you have it, when you got that money energy, that hustling energy, other money comes to you. I notice whenever I'm like walking around with a whole bunch of money in my pocket, I just find money on the streets. When you have money accumulating, when you're out there getting your hustle on, more money comes to you. It's an energy, dude. It's very metaphysical. So you got to create that money-making energy. You got to create that by hustling. Hustling attracts more money. And like I said, man, being a hustler is about a mindset that you have. It's not about what to do specifically, because guys ask me, Flex, how can I hustle? What kind of business can I get? What can I do to make money? And there's no specific answer for that, because you can create ways to get money. Let the opportunity present itself. See, that's what a hustler does. When an opportunity presents itself, a hustler will think of a way to get some money. A real hustler knows what I'm talking about. If you are a hustler, whatever situation pops up, you will figure out, how can I make some money out of this? Because with me, there's no set template that I use. I just thought like a hustler all the time. That's why I can generate money with different things I do. My whole career with the Art of Mackin book, let me tell y'all something. I didn't plan on writing no book. That was the furthest thing from my mind back in 1999 when I wrote the Art of Mackin. I was in some other shit. I wasn't thinking about writing no book. I never took no writing course. Didn't know anything about the publishing world. Didn't know none of that shit. The thing is, there were so many books out at the time, and I'm a reader. I love reading. But there weren't any good books at the time for no real players, for no real dudes. All the books at the time, to me, were corny. I'm like, there's some corny shit out here. You had this Men Are From Mars, because when I wrote my book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, that was a real big book. And it was like a brown-nosing Captain Saberhold type book. And most of the books back in 99, if you look back, were on that brown-nosing shit. Telling women what they want to hear, hug your woman and kiss her and tell her you love her and all. It was real corny. So I wanted to do something the opposite of that. I couldn't find no book that dropped no real game. I'm like, well, shit, let me make a book that drops game. Hell, because the shit that I'm doing works for me and it works for the people that I break it down to. So let me do a book that's telling the opposite of all this Captain Saberhold brown nose and shit. So I wrote The Art of Mac, and I knocked that shit out in like 4-5 months. We put it out, and the rest was history. That shit sold damn near 500,000 copies. So I just had that hustler mentality. I didn't know it was going to go that far. Then a whole new career arrived. And even with the Mac Lessons DVD, when I did the Mac Lessons DVD, I did that, and a lot of people wanted to distribute it. But the thing is, I wanted them to give me a whole bunch of money up front. Nobody wanted to give me a whole bunch of money up front. They wanted to put it in stores, because most distribution deals, they just put it in the stores and they'll promote it for you. But I wanted a whole gang of money up front. They were like, no, we can't do that, but we'll put it in stores. I'm like, well, fuck that. I'll make my thing exclusive. I'll just make it available on my website, and I'll promote it myself. I'm on television, and I do radio. And what I did, I created the Mac Lessons Radio Show podcast simply to promote the DVD. That was the only reason I did it. I was going to do the podcast for like a month. This was in 2006. I didn't plan on doing it for a long time. I just wanted to promote the DVD. But when I did that, the podcast took off. A whole bunch of folks started listening to the podcast. They kept wanting more and more shows. Because also at that time, people were getting tired of terrestrial radio. Terrestrial radio, people were getting burnt out with hearing commercials all day in the same 10 songs. So people were looking for different venues for entertainment. So that came right on time. So it was nothing that I planned, and it has generated a lot of money because I have damn near 100,000 listeners now. My show ranking, the page rank for Mac Lessons Radio is up there and higher than a lot of major radio stations like Power 106 and Hot 107. My ranking is higher than theirs. And these are major stations. So just having that hustler mentality will create money and generate successful venues. And you got to have that. You can't wait on no money. Because at the time, a lot of folks were, and even now, a lot of folks want me to go to their radio stations and work at their stations. I really don't want to do that. I'm not totally close to it. If somebody come at me with a real good deal, I'll fuck with it. But I get offers all the time to come and do this morning show and be the morning show host on this station. Like, for what? I'm doing my thing here. I'm making money doing this. And that's the thing. When you're making your own paper, instead of waiting on somebody else to give you some paper, you have better bargaining chips. Because when you go into a situation and you're broke and you ain't got no money, you become desperate. So they'll throw any deal to you, and because you ain't got no money and you're desperate, you'll take any deal they put on the table. That's how a lot of entertainers and rappers and singers, they get fucked up contracts. This is why they have one hot album, and the next album they looking dusty than a motherfucker. They're in their video looking dusty and crispy and just toe up. They done spent up all their little advance money, and now they become disillusioned because they signed a whack deal and ain't got no more money, and they're mad and they're pissed off at their label. See, the thing is, man, when you go in there and you got your hustle on, you think like a hustler, you know how to tell a motherfucker no. And when you tell these cats no, that shocks them because so many people are desperate to get put on. When you tell them no, you have bargaining chips. They're like, okay, this cat has value because they're not used to that. I'll tell them no at the drop of a hat, but you have to be humble too, because that's a balance. You could be a hustler, but you got to be humble too, because for a while, when my books and stuff took off, I was so arrogant because I was a hustler. I was making my paper, and I started getting these major book deals. So it was all types of money flowing, and I had this mentality like, fuck all y'all. Like, different television shows want to be on, and I would turn down a whole bunch of shit. Because I really didn't care about being on television unless I was promoting my stuff. And a lot of people would aggravate me, and I would get all these offers to do television shows, and I would get offended. And I had to learn how to not be offended, hustle around that, because I would go to meetings and I would literally leave offended. I'm like, I can't believe they asked me to do some stupid shit like that. Get the fuck out of my face. But you can't have that mentality. You can't show that. You got to hustle around that, because you can utilize that, and I'm learning that, and I've learned that you can utilize those contacts later on down the line. You don't never want to burn bridges. So even though motherfuckers saying some dumb shit to you, you just, respectfully decline. Say, no, I'm not going to go in that direction. But say to yourself, okay, as a hustler, I'm going to use that venue later on down the line. So I had to learn that because, again, I had that street mentality going into the game. So you can be a hustler, but you can be humble at the same time with the way you do your business. Because my people would call me from Simon & Schuster, like, this person wants you on your show, wants you on the show. This person wants you on this show. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. No, I'm cool. I would turn down a lot of interviews and stuff, and a lot of people at Simon & Schuster were pissed off at me because I never really wanted to do interviews. I didn't want to do shit. I'm like, man, fuck this. I do my own shit. I'm making money. I'm in France. I'm on a boat in the Bahamas. I don't want to do this shit. But so you got to learn how to humble yourself. That's my point. Don't go to the extreme. But don't be begging, ready to do everything they throw your way. You can have integrity, but you can be humble. There's a balance to that. But the whole point is, man, don't wait on nobody to give you no money. There's a lot of money out here in the game, man. You can go get this damn money. You got to be creative. Start getting that hustle energy. Start thinking of ways you can stack your paper up. The problem is you can't think about how to get your money on because you're so busy bullshitting. And you know who you are. There's a lot of people out there who's getting high, bullshitting, tricking. Females, y'all out here slutting, looking for love through a dick every week. You don't know what you're doing. Charge that shit to the game and start getting your money on. Start focusing on getting your hustling on. So you won't be sitting up with your hand out talking about, damn, how come somebody's denying me some money? It's money out there, y'all. There's a lot of money out there. Fuck that recession shit. There's money out there. Don't let people make you think the recession, you can't get no money, that the money has just disappeared. Money doesn't disappear. I've said this on a lot of shows. Money doesn't disappear. It only gets transferred. All that shit, people talking about the money, the recession, all the money is gone. Money does not disappear. It's transferred to other people who knew how to hustle better. You open up your eyes and you become a goddamn hustler. Y'all better listen to some of these shows I be trying to give y'all game on. All these pay-per-view specials I'm trying to lace you with, like Secret Society. Y'all better listen to that and learn some real hustling, how the people on the top are real hustlers. And how they manipulate and pull the wool over people's eyes to keep your mindset away from hustling because they're hustling you. You better, I think like them. That's why I can break their asses down. In my new pay-per-view special about secret societies, I was talking about how secret organizations run the world and how they manipulate people and how they keep certain knowledge to themselves and certain books to themselves and give out the kind of knowledge they want to give to the general public. I'm like, look, I'm going to go read what they read. I'm going to study what they study, just like a drug dealer. Look, I don't want you to sell me dope. I want to find out who you got your dope from. You got to have that mentality. That's hustling. Anyway, y'all, that's been today's show. I know I've been going over time here. Don't forget to check out MacLessons.com to get the Mac Lessons needs, all the pay-per-view specials, everything you need to be a thorough player. I will be on Ustream later on today, so check out my Ustream page. Go to Ustream.tv, I think that's it, and type in Tariq Elite Show. The Tariq Elite Show, and you can check me out. I'll be on there in a couple of hours, so you guys will chop up game with me, and we're going to have a good time. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day, man. Keep it Macish. Peace.